What is going on, party people? For this episode, I'm going to give you a new story about Independence Day. Which, if you're from the United States, you know what it is. Independence Day is the day when we celebrate independence, and we're it's like we celebrate freedom. And here's a definition, at least from what I found. What Independence Day is, it is a federal holiday commemorating the adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th of 1776 by the Continental Congress, declaring that the 13 American colonies regarded themselves as the new nation, the United States of America, and no longer associated with the British Empire. So, I do have some comments about that. So, Independence Day, well, since it's 2016, if I'm doing so let's see here, it would be 224. Hmm. I'm doing some. Okay, so Independence Day, this is like the 240th anniversary of Independence Day. So 240 years. So it's been around since 1776. So it's almost 2.5 centuries. So and another thing I like to say about that is Independence Day is like it's like Freedom Day. It reminds me of the day when we have freedom. And I mean, think about it this way: if Independence Day did not even exist in the United States, I mean, we would be under British control. I mean, the British Empire would be like manipulating us, basically treating us like slaves, and we'd be suffering and pain, and which we're glad that stuff doesn't happen anymore. It's like now we're free. Um, what Independence Day is associated with, and I'm sure um, it's associated with fireworks and parades. Well, I mean, not just that. I mean, there's other stuff that it's associated with too, like going out to a picnic. Um, it's associated with an American flag. Um, so if there are any colors that that trigger your mind when you think about it, it's red, white, and blue. Same colors as what you see on the American flag. Um, and see, I'm gonna give you the background of it. During the American Revolution, separation of 13 colonies happened on July 2nd of 1776. So it was actually 2 days before Independence Day. That's when this happened. And this happened when the Second Continental Congress voted to approve a resolution of independence that had been proposed in June by Richard Henry Lee from Virginia, declaring that U.S. is independent from the Great Britain rule, which, I mean, one thing I like to say about that is I've already mentioned that earlier. Ugh, there, that's better. And after voting for the independence, Congress turned its attention to the Declaration of Independence, which, in case you don't know, it's written by Thomas Jefferson. Which, I mean, if it hadn't been for the Declaration of Independence, I mean, our freedom wouldn't exist. So, um, I mean, if you're not from the United States, I mean, some kind. Never mind that. Let's just move on. Most historians believe that Declaration was signed nearly a month after its adoption. So basically, it's actually a month later than what we think when it comes to when it was signed. So customs, families will go to a picnic. They'll take a day off from work, which I wouldn't say all families do that. I mean, if you're a person who works for law enforcement, I mean, you don't get the option to take a day off from work because, I mean, with law enforcement, they have to keep everybody safe. Because, I mean, think about it this way. If law enforcement took a day off, and I'm not saying just any day off, but If they took like a holiday off just like other people did, I mean, what if criminals do illegal stuff that put other people at risk on the holidays? Then things wouldn't be good. It means the criminals would be the ones that ruin the holidays. So with law enforcement, though, it's like, sorry, you don't get the day off. I mean, yeah, it may be a holiday, but no, you still gotta go to work. I mean, like if you're a police officer, for example, I mean, you have to, or if you're working with public safety, I mean, it's like your job is to keep the public safe, and even if it is a holiday, you'd still have to be working. So, I mean, it's to keep everybody safe. Otherwise, our place wouldn't be safe to live in. Other customs are fireworks. I mean, one thing I like to say about that is, I mean, I mean, we've been to a beach and we've seen fireworks go up. Which, I mean, fireworks. It's like, well, I mean, if you're in a home, if you live in a house with a lot of trees, then fireworks wouldn't be permitted because it's dangerous. I mean, you might light something on fire and you might end up burning down your property, and the next thing you know is you wouldn't have a place to live in anymore. You'd have to find another place, and if it was like you do it at somebody else's place, I mean, you would face a long time in federal prison. You know, if something like that does happen. So it's like, if you're gonna do fireworks, I mean, make sure that where you live there isn't like a whole lot of trees, because trees are the obstacles. So I'm just letting you know what's going on. Which, I mean, it's not just the United States that celebrates Independence Day. I mean, there are some other countries that do the same thing. Which, I mean, they don't give it the same name though, but I mean, it does convey the same meaning. If you're looking at like Philippines, for example, they celebrate it as a Republic Day to commemorate that day in 1946 when it stopped being a U.S. territory and the U.S. officially recognized Philippines as like independent, which in other words it's Philippine independence. So it's like Philippines, they're like independent from the U.S. So U.S. is like, okay, you know what? We need to leave Philippines alone. I mean, they deserve their own freedom, so let's just leave them be. Um, in Rwanda or Wanda, if I'm saying it right, I don't know how to pronounce it. Um, which with July 4th, it's known as the Liberation Day. And it commemorates the end of um, 1994. 1994 Rwandan genocide in which the U.S. government also played a role. 1994. That's weird. I mean, I thought it would be like in the 1800s or something, or maybe 1700s, but I don't know. Maybe some. Let's just move on. I mean, I don't know what to say about that, but let's just move on. Um, in a national park in Denmark is said to hold the largest July 4th celebrations outside of U.S. Okay. One thing I like to say about that, think about it this way. If you went to Denmark, all right, and you were to celebrate Independence Day like the same way as like the United States does, the celebration is gonna be a lot more intense. So it's like there's gonna be a huge festival going on. There's gonna be a lot of people, you know, going out there drinking and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't say like drink excessive amounts of alcohol, but you know, you know, just maybe some small glasses of red wine. And I mean, I've actually heard it's good for your heart. I mean, as long as it's done in moderation. I mean, don't drink like, you know, 12 glasses of red wine. I mean, because if you drink that much, then I mean, it would be like drinking beer. I mean, your brain gets intoxicated. It's like your ability to think ends up getting impaired. So it's like, I mean, that's if you overdo any alcoholic beverage. So it's like you could drink, but it's gotta be done in moderation. Which I mean, there's really nothing healthy about alcoholic beverages, minus the red wine. But I mean, red wine keeps your heart healthy, but only if it's done in small amounts. So, but with other alcoholic beverages like beer, champagne, wine, etc., I mean, there's nothing healthy about them. So, which that's why I keep away from that stuff, because I'm trying to keep my brain cells, try and keep them safe, so that way they don't get invaded by aliens. So, anyways, so to do a recap, what Independence Day really is, Independence Day, or I call it Freedom Day because it's a day when you celebrate freedom, is it's well, you're celebrating freedom. I don't know why I said celebrating, but I feel like an idiot when I say it like that. But whatever the case may be, it's anyways. I mean, it's basically a day when the United States declares itself as independent. So that's why the holiday got the title. I mean, other countries, I mean, they may also have Independence Day, but they don't give it the same title. Like some call it like the Republican Day, but anyways, I mean that varies from each country. I mean, some countries don't even believe in Independence Day, which is really depressing. Which means, I guess those would be the countries that would suffer. But I mean that varies from each culture. I mean, some cultures that you're adopted to, they may have like a different Independence Day. It's like, while if you're in the United States, it's July 4th. It's like in some countries it may be in August or something, and it may not be like given the same title. So I mean, it does depend on what country you live in. So I mean, country you live in, I mean, holidays are different. Um, I mean, the cultures are different, of course. What more would you expect? The languages are different. The foods are everything is different. So if you live in another country, it's like everything is different. So and sometimes it gets a little like if you're, let's just say you're from the United States and you decide to move to China. I mean, if you were to move to China, I mean, their cultures may not be the same as ours, at least from where I'm at. So it's like it's a completely different world. So it's like sometimes it takes a little longer to adapt to. But um, anyways, oh, and also just to let you know, I am working on another Doom level. It's inspired by level 39 from Chillax. And the reason why it's inspired by that is because some of you requested I do a health-themed level after my Oreo Cake Massacre level. And in case you don't know what the Oreo Cake Massacre level looks like, it's huge. It's got a lot of white and brown in it. That's why the level got that title. And it's 25,000 monsters. And when I played it, and I'll give you a link to it below, it's 6 hours long, so it's pretty lengthy. Which I mean, I'm so glad that I did it. I mean, the reason why I did that the reason why I made that level, I should say, is because I wanted to make a level about the size of an Okuplock level, which, I mean, the Okuplock level is inspired by level 5 from Holy Hell. And that one, when I played it, it took me like 5 hours to get through. So it was pretty lengthy. But I mean, the Holy Hell level 5 wasn't that difficult. But the Okuplock, though, it's like, yeah, it's severely difficult. I mean, you don't get a whole lot of health and ammunition. But with the Oreo Cake Massacre level I made, I mean, you'll have enough health and ammunition and power ups to get through. So it's like you get whatever's necessary. So I mean, it is pretty lengthy though, just to warn you. So expect to take a long time to beat it. With the level that I'm working on right now, though, I mean, it's probably not going to be nearly as long, but it is going to be pretty intense. So, um, inspired by level 39 from Chillax. Level 39 from Chillax is pretty difficult, but I mean, I'm not going to make the level super hard, but yeah, it's going to have some challenge in it. So, and the reason why I want it to be like reasonably challenging is because I'm trying to. Well, I mean, what I want to do is I want to make it like difficult but more like beatable. So difficult but still beatable, at least doable. I mean, that's how I design my levels in general. So it's not going to be different from other levels. So, um, I know that may not be relevant to Independence Day, but I'm just giving you a heads up of what's going on. Because I think at this point on, I think I've probably done all the levels that I feel like doing from the WODs. So it's like I think I sort of just ran empty on it. So I think at this point on, I'll just focus on making my own levels, and or what I'll do is I'll do in terms of Doom levels that I'll do other people's levels. I mean, as long as it's a new level and it's beatable. So, I mean, I may not get through all the levels, but I mean, basically, it's whatever levels that people send me. I mean, I'd be more than happy to do them. So, some people, after making the levels, making their levels, I end up like doing them upon like them announcing it. So, which I mean, like I said before, I may not get through all the levels, but I just do whatever I could do. So, um, anyways, if you have any thoughts about this, be sure to leave them in the comments section below. And I sincerely hope that you enjoyed this episode. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of my activities. Um, oh, and another thing is also one thing I forgot to add is in addition to doing like either my level or other people's levels, I may do some more like news stories. I mean, it'll be same format as usual. I mean, it'll have gameplay in the background. Usually, it's a previous um, Doom gameplay footage that I put up on YouTube. So I mean, it may be like a gameplay footage I put up like a year ago or something like that. Um, which I mean, when that does happen, and usually I'll give you a link to a footage, the original footage. So, anyways, so all I could say is, I mean, if you enjoyed the episode, I know I've already said this before and sound like a broken record, but if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a thumbs up. Um, if you got any thoughts that you would like to leave behind, I mean, be sure to do so in the comments section. Be sure to favorite if you want to favorite it. And if you want to see more of my activities, be sure you subscribe to my channel. And I sincerely hope that you have an excellent 4th of July or Freedom Day. I mean, however you want to call it, doesn't really matter. I mean, it's the same thing. I mean, just don't call it like Death Day or stupid stuff like that. I mean, call it something that's like something that pertains to freedom. So it could be Independence Day, Freedom Day, Liberation Day, Republican Day. I mean, do whatever. Anyways, I hope you all have a good day. Peace out.